From the inferior vena cava, the superior vena cava, as well as from the coronary sinus, blood enters into the right atrium of the heart. Blood moves from the right atrium to the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. Blood moves from the right atrium to the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. Then blood moves from the right ventricle to the pulmonary trunk through the pulmonary semilunar valve. Once in the pulmonary trunk, blood moves to the right and left pulmonary arteries and out to the lungs. Remember, arteries carry blood away from the heart. The oxygenated blood then moves back to the heart through the pulmonary veins. Veins are the blood vessels that are responsible for bringing blood back to the heart. Then blood flows into the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. Once in the left atrium, blood flows through the mitral or bicuspid valve and into the left ventricle. Then blood from the left ventricle moves into the ascending aorta through the aortic semilunar valve. Lastly, blood moves out of the aorta and is distributed to the rest of the body. We're here at Diane's Bakery with Kim. Kim, can we ask you a biology question?
Yeah.
Alright, she's over there. Kim, how many chambers does the heart have?
5?
4. That's close enough. Alright, one more.
We do it.
Oh my gosh, we do. Okay, ready?
We're gonna whisper your answer.
Yeah. No. There are 4 chambers in the heart. They are the right ventricle, the right atrium, the left ventricle, and the left atrium. Which blood vessel brings blood to the heart? Veins or arteries?
Veins.
Arteries. Veins.
But does an artery too?
In the human body, veins bring the blood to the heart and arteries bring the blood away from the heart. You can remember this by using the trick and thinking arteries away. George.
Yes.
Can you answer this question?
Yes.
Okay. What organ removes waste from the blood?
The anus.
Hey Kaufman, how you doing? What organ?
Removes waste from the blood.
I know the answer now.
Oh, the lymph nodes.
The liver.
The
kidney.
Organ.
The kidney is the organ that removes waste from the blood. This is done through small filtering units called nephrons. When the blood passes through the organ, the nephrons help to ensure that all the waste is out of the stream. Can you give me a general idea of what the job of the circulatory system is?
Circulate blood.
To get oxygen to the body through blood and red blood cells.
Hemoglobin.
Levi, ask my
To secrete fecal matter.
The overall role of the circulatory system is to pump and distribute blood throughout the body. The heart, blood, and blood vessels work together to keep the whole system in check. The network of arteries, capillaries, and veins allows blood to carry carbon dioxide to the lungs where oxygen is picked up following exhalation. What part of the blood starts to clot when
Blood cells.
when someone gets a cut?
No, it's
Sickle cell anemia.
White blood cells.
No!
Red
No.
blood. One of the blood cells. Mad cow disease.
It's the platelet.
Are you kidding me?
Mad cow disease. It's just a casual.
Mad Murph disease.
It's the platelet. The platelet is the part of the blood that starts to clot when a person gets a cut. When your blood starts to clot, it turns into a thickened mass of blood tissue to aid in the stopping of bleeding. The platelets work with proteins in the blood to start the process of clotting.
Yeet.
Digestive system is made up of organs that work together to break down foods and turn them into energy in order to help your body work and grow. Okay. The digestive system includes the mouth, the esophagus, the gallbladder, the stomach, the liver, the pancreas, the small intestine, and the large intestine, and don't forget the rectum. You take in food through the mouth, and that food goes through this digestive tract and eventually ends at the anus. Right here. Saliva in your mouth begins the digestive process. It moistens food. I don't like that. It moistens foods. Why can I not say moisten? It moistens food. Saliva in your mouth begins the digestive process. It moistens and helps create a food bolus so that when it goes down, it's much easier. It contains the enzyme amylase that breaks down some starches into maltose and dextrin. The food moves through the mouth, through the throat, down the esophagus, and eventually into the stomach. In the stomach, food particles begin to mix with stomach acids and enzymes. The mashed up food then moves into the soft, long tube known as the small intestine, where most of digestion takes place. The liver makes a fluid called bile, and that bile, along with digestive enzymes from the pancreas, help release nutrients from your food so that they can be absorbed and circulated around your body in the bloodstream. The blood brings fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and sugars to the liver, located here, and that helps make them into building blocks that the body can use to work and grow. The liver helps remove harmful substances from the blood. It also does that. What isn't needed then moves into the large intestine located here, and water is removed and feces are formed.
Beautiful.
The rectum passes what your body does not need through the anus, otherwise known as poop.
Hey!
In which component of the digestive tract is when digestion occurs? The esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, or the mouth?
Intestine? I would think it's the esophagus.
The esophagus is responsible for transporting food from the mouth to the stomach via peristalsis, which consists of smooth muscle contractions but does not help digest the food content in the process. The mouth, stomach, and small intestine, however, all help in the process of food digestion. The mouth introduces enzymes in the saliva, the stomach introduces pepsin, and the small intestine introduces a number of other enzymes for digestion of macromolecules.
Okay. What do the salivary glands secrete?
Saliva.
That's the next one. That's the next one.
Okay.
Round 2.
Fine. We're gonna get a little harder now. What does the pancreas secrete?
Insulin.
Hey!
You can't do that. It's not.
Yes, Doug, the pancreas does secrete insulin.
Go. Go!
Okay. Here with Bean. He's gonna answer a question for us. What comes first, the small intestine or the big one?
Big one. No, it's a small intestine. Oh my god.
Surprisingly, the small intestine is actually much larger than the large intestine. The small intestine is the part of the intestine that runs between the stomach and the large intestine. It is the part of the intestines where 90% of digestion and absorption of food occurs. The other 10% takes place in the stomach and large intestine. The main function of the small intestine is to absorb nutrients and minerals from food.
Are we on?
Yes, we're on.
I'm so bad.
What is the function of the rectum?
To excrete fecal matter in a correctly way.
The rectum is the last stop before the feces are eliminated through the anal canal. Sodium, potassium, chloride, and indigestible food ingredients are decomposed by anaerobic bacteria, and the stool is thickened through water absorption and mixed with mucus.
Some facts about the skeletal system. It is comprised of 206 bones. Bones, ligaments, tendons, and cartilage. Its purpose is for the protection and support of the body. Cartilage. It's a connective tissue. It is semi-rigid yet flexible, and it forms parts on the body where it is more flexible, and flexibility is required. Bones are the structural framework for the tendons to attach to and provide support for soft tissue and to protect internal organs from injury. Ligaments. They are tough, fibrous bands of connective tissue that serve to support the internal organs and hold bones together. Finally, tendons. They are highly organized connective tissues joining muscle to bone and are capable of resisting high tensile forces while transmitting forces from muscle to bone. So how does this tie in with the other systems presented in this video? This is our segment called Cooperation with Other Systems, featuring me, Devin. Muscular system. The skeletal system works the most with the muscular system. Without the bones of your skeleton, you would be a blob of water-filled tissue. The bones create a framework to which your muscles and organs can connect. The circulatory system. It also works with the circulatory system in that the marrow inside of your bones helps produce the cells inside of your blood. Both red blood cells and white blood cells are created in your bones. The digestive system. Finally, this connects with the digestive system in that the receptors and muscles provide the brain with movement about body position and movement. The brain controls the contraction of skeletal muscle. The nervous system regulates the speed at which food moves through the digestive tract.
Alright, what is the skeletal system made up of?
Bones. And calcium.
Silly Lazarus, that's not what I was asking. Yes, the skeletal system is made up of bones, and bones are made up of calcium. But the skeletal system is comprised of bones, tendons, ligaments, and cartilage.
Alright, Mr. Dreyer, I got a question for you. What is the function of the skeletal system?
To support the muscular system and the intestines and every other system that the body has to offer.
It's not the same.
Good man. Wait, so what do I have to do?
Not you, not yet, not yet.
Oh, wait.
Are we on? Okay. Food.
A pulmonary trunk through the pulmonary semilunar valve.
Pulmonary.
Alright. Again, come on. Comment. Better be worth it.
Wait, it's so nice.
It's good. It's good. Better be worth it, comment.
Just go.
Once in the left heart.
Heart's moving.
Once in the left
Pumping
atrium.
blood right now.
The blood moves
It's
through
going
the
from my
mitral
heart to my
or
toes.
bicuspid valve, then into the left ventricle. Once in the left. Louie! Want to taste it? Louie!
His heart's racing. It's pumping with blood.
I'm covered in it? Oh, look out.
It was just about done. Yeah, some too also.
Devin, get it together.
Like I
Hi. So, this,
I just want to say
okay.
there were hives gotten and tears shed over the week and a half it took us to film this.
This video really impacted my physical health and
And my body systems.
my body systems. It really no words, honestly.
Thank you, Kaufman.
Hi. Hi.
Hey, Gavin, how you doing?